TopMedTalk.
Hello and welcome to TopMedTalk. I'm Desiree, Chappell, your host, and we've been coming to you with continuing coverage of the COVID-19 crisis from the front lines. Now, we've had very important, relevant, and fantastic conversations with providers around the world, and we're going to continue to do that. But what we've been doing in the last couple weeks is trying to provide a little bit of respite for all of the frontline workers out there and frontline care providers. And have a little bit of laugh, have a little bit of fun. We all need that so much right now. Joining us today, we have our editor-in-chief, Monty Mythen from London, England. Hello, Monty. How are you?
Hi, Desiree.
Sometimes we just need to mix it up a little bit. So we're on Zoom today. We're chatting with each other. We have our island backgrounds, and we are going to listen to a little bit of music today from our very favorite jazz pianist, Jeremy Sassoon.
So, Jem, before you tell us about your concert this week and your guest, etc., etc., I want to ask you a couple of relatively serious questions. Sorry to spring that on you, but
no,
you're originally a psychiatrist, and as my colleagues in London who've been in the front line of critical care are starting to see this ease off a little bit, they're starting to have very serious discussions about the what next. And part of the what next they're recognizing is, for some of them, what they're starting to feel the mental strain and stress, and possibly a segue to some sort of post-traumatic in themselves, the workers. They know we're very well aware of this in the patients. Any reflections on that, Jem? We also, those people who've been caged for a while are starting to creak a little bit at this stage.
You know, we have to remember that it has been quite a few years since I actually did graduate on the shop floor, and I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. I didn't treat people coming back from war. I haven't seen something like this. So really, it remains to be seen, how people are going to cope with this, because it's going to be a real mass problem. I mean, it sounds like, as I say, it sounds related to a war in some way. You know, the troops, and goodness knows how many of these troops there are, are going to, if they are going to suffer like this, they're going to need a lot of help.
It would be reasonable to anticipate that this is going to be one of the health challenges that we face as we emerge from this. I know some of it's going on already. So 2 points on that. One is, I know you're switching charity tomorrow. It's still for the NHS, but you're making a gear switch to the Intensive Care Society fundraising effort, which your special guest is championing, which is all about supporting, in particular, the workers emerging from this. But I'm going to ask you, Jem, at the end of this to consider doing, I know this is going to be your last concert for raising money for the NHS, but at the end of it to consider doing one more for your people, the mental health side of it. So just think about that, buddy. So we might make you, in some way, shape or form, think about doing one more. Desiree, sorry, back to you. That was my little stealing something there for a second.
I know that in the training that I've had as a nurse in dealing with traumatic situations is that, it's really important just to talk about the situation and not keep it bottled up. And I know a lot of people right now, especially us in our field, just kind of want to say, I got this, don't worry about me. And I think that we really need to strike up this conversation to say, it's okay to talk about it. The more you talk about it, the easier you're going to be able to deal with it and overcome it.
I think really, this whole series of gigs, everything, this thing we've been talking about for the last few weeks has really been about the fact that although, yes, I am a doctor, I have qualified, I've practiced for quite a few years, it has been a long time. And in a way, it was part of my sort of helplessness in a way that I'm not able to do anything right now that's caused me to do it. And just a little tinge of guilt that really all my friends and my colleagues are working really hard. So in a way, the only thing I can do really right now is raise money for it. And that's my motivation right now, is to raise money and give it to the people who can actually make a difference, because it means a lot. And as far as Monty's last point is concerned, I haven't as yet directly given to mental health charities, and that is very close to my heart. So I will canvass opinion tomorrow, I think, and see what I should do. But
I want you to know that I know that you're giving this money, but I think what you're doing, just the concerts and having, again, just like having a little bit of relief, and we can have a little bit of fun. We can listen to amazing, beautiful music that speaks to all of us. I think that in itself is your contribution. It's huge. So thank you for what you're doing there.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Desiree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So tell us, your concert tomorrow tell us a little bit about the theme.
Okay. So just to recap for the people who haven't caught this ongoing story. This is going to be the fourth of 4 shows. The first one I just started off with no expectations, and featured Bill Withers, the music of Bill Withers, who had died the day before. We raised £2,000. It was unbelievable. We carried on, did the second show. We brought on the wonderful Professor Mythen, and the crowds went mad. I mean, we just couldn't, the website got stuck, kind of froze. We got up to about 5,000. Did a third show last week with the music of Stevie Wonder and my good friend Mark Hamilton, who was a radio doctor and a junior doctor with me back in the day. We got up to over 7,500. So this is the fourth of 4. Yes, I've switched to charity because I want to give it directly to the intensive care society this time instead of the general NHS. And I don't know whether the people in the States are aware of an old guy in England, 99 years old, who walked 100 times round his garden and was sponsored to the tune of £28 million. So I kind of thought my contribution isn't really necessary to that charity right now. It could be better directed. So the fourth one, we're going to do that. Now, what we do in every show is feature an artist, the music of an artist or a musical theme, and a special medical guest. So the theme tomorrow is the songs of the Jewish songwriters. It's sort of a history of Jewish songwriters. It's a show that I do that's relatively new, that I was supposed to be performing at the Edinburgh Festival, which has cancelled. In fact, all the gigs that had been planned for this show, which had sold out, have cancelled. So I'm going to just do a few tunes by Jewish songwriters. That will be the musical theme. And my special guest, you know very well, which is Hugh Montgomery, who will be coming and chatting to us for 5 minutes. and no doubt will paint the normal rosy picture that he normally does. Reassure us all.
So you'll let it out of the bag tomorrow, Jeremy, and Hugh alluded to it. The last time that you sort of got together with Hugh on the radio, you went to number 1 in the charts.
Yes, this was an amazing moment. 2014, what's that, 6 years ago, Hugh was asked to go on Desert Island Discs, BBC Radio 4. It's a very big station in the UK, and it's one of the most popular radio shows in the UK. Hugh went on it, picked one of my tunes, and I found out the next 3 days later I was number 1 in the iTunes vocal download chart. In the words of Andy Warhol, it was my 15 minutes of fame, and I'm clinging to it. I wouldn't mind another 15. In fact,
hopefully we can get you 30 off this one.
This week, actually, I tell a lot, because this week I was actually on the only radio show that is bigger than Desert Island Discs. Yeah. I was asked, because of this whole, what we're talking about, I was asked to go on what's called the Today program, which is actually even bigger listenership than Desert Island Discs, but a really highly respected program, just to talk about this show. So, and to play a bit of music with it.
Well, how did it go?
It was short, it was sweet, it was lovely, and I'm hoping it was helpful.
People contacted me to say blah, 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 who hadn't known you before your first and second concert, to say they just heard it. So well done.
Yeah,
so they followed through.
It was nice. It was an honour, actually. It's a huge show. It's got a listenership of 8 million. So it's grand. That's, in fact, with lockdown, it's probably 10 million.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we'll see how Facebook Live handles the numbers coming in, hopefully on Saturday to watch. That's awesome.
So it's on my Facebook music page. So I have a Jeremy Sassoon personal page. It's not that one. You don't want to see pictures of my mother and, holidays. Maybe you do. I'm a bit worried if you do want to see pictures of my mother. But the other page, the Jeremy Sassoon Music on Facebook, find that page, like that page. It will notify you that we've gone live at 5:00 tomorrow, British summertime. I believe that's midday Eastern time.
Noon, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. And it's just for 1 hour. If you just want to see Hugh, because he's better looking than I am, you can tune in about 5:30. You just see that sort of like few minutes. Otherwise, if you like the music of Jewish songwriters, I'll have a few of your favorites in there, I'm certain.
Yeah, I love it. My favorite thing about watching on Facebook Live is I can hit the little love button, the little hearts go up right there. So every time you're singing your songs.
I like that. It's a nice feeling. Yeah.
It does. It's like, ooh. Sharing the love. Tell us what song you gonna play for us today, because that's one thing we love to hear a little bit of music.
Yeah. So you were saying that this is really about feel good, and I was trying to think which tune I should do. I had a few ideas. I started with Steely Dan because, of course, Donald Fagen's Jewish. And I think
let's say it's Steely. Okay.
I was going to do Steely Dan, and then I decided not to do Steely Dan. I decided to do Paul Simon, Still Crazy After All These Years. But did we record this? I don't know.
It feels like we do it all the time, but that's why.
It's a tip of the hat to my old psychiatric patients who I didn't manage to help. They were the third one. The one I came up with, I think the right one, I'm quite certain it's the right one, would be Randy Newman, Short People. So with apologies to anyone vertically challenged, it's just a song. And it was a very famous song by Randy Newman. Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live. They got little hands, little eyes. They walk around telling great big lies. They got little noses and tiny little teeth. They wear platform shoes on their nasty little feet. Oh, well, don't want no short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want no short people around here. All right. Don't want no short people around here. Short people are just the same as you and I. A fool such as I, all men are brothers until the day they die. It's a wonderful world. But it's a wonderful world. And now, short people got nobody. Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody to love. They got little baby legs that stand so low. You got to pick them up just to say hello. They got little cars that go beep, beep, beep. They got little voices going beep, beep, beep. They got grubby little fingers, dirty little minds. They're gonna get you every time. Well, don't want no short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want those short people around here. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. I would like to make the point that I got an email yesterday from a lady who's seen me before. She's less than 5 foot tall. And she said to me, Jeremy, will you please play Short People for me? You played it when I first attended your show, and so I did it. And I was dancing around, and you made it, and she absolutely loved it. So, please don't take too literally. Literally, people love this.
It's great. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful talent with us and with the world, and giving us a smile today, because we all need it. Absolutely. So
thank you.
Looking forward to Facebook Live tomorrow. Jeremy Sassoon Music, 5 p.m. British UK time is what I always say. 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time here in the US. Please join. Please give. Open those wallets. We will give a TopMedTalk interview to the first person that donates $1 million.
All right.
I've said it right now.
What are we going to do for the next 9?
Okay. I'll give a private gig for that person as well.
Yeah, well, we've got you booked, Jeremy, already for it's the emergence gig when it comes out.
That's right.
The emergence gig, yeah,
it's going to happen.
Cool.
Again, thanks for everything you do. Thanks for taking the time, Jeremy, and we cannot wait to hear your beautiful music tomorrow.
TopMedTalk.
Thanks for listening to TopMedTalk. You can find us at TopMedTalk.com and on your favorite social media platform. Be sure to check out Jeremy Sassoon on Facebook Live tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
TopMedTalk is proud to thank its sponsors, specifically Edwards Life Sciences, for their generous support through this global crisis.